Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Command List. So, this is going to be a video and audio podcast here. So, I came across an article from the Nerdist about the announced the casting for the live-action Street Fighter movie, right? So, I put out I've mentioned this before in some of the other shorter episodes I put. I think it might have been Patreon-only episodes, but the cast is starting to be, elaborated upon. It's not just the main actors now. It's not just talking about Cody Rhodes or Jason Momoa or Roman Reigns or these types of people anymore. They're talking about sort of full cast. And so we've got Noah Centineo as Ken Masters, Andrew Koji as Ryu, Helena Liang as Chun-Li, Roman Reigns or Joe Anoa'i as Akuma. Interesting choice, not Japanese, so not sure what to make of that. I'll keep an open mind. There's some other sort of interesting ones. You got David Dastmalchian as M. Bison. I'm not familiar with him. Cody Rhodes as Guile. Again, I know who he is vaguely. Andrew Schultz as Dan Hibiki. That's, again, not Japanese, but Andrew Schultz, a Joker for a Joker, right? So he's a joke character, and there's a comedian playing him. So that could be really interesting. It could be funny. Eric Andre as Don Savage. I don't know who that is. Vijay Jamwal as Dalsim. He's a martial artist and Indian guy, so it could be good. And 50 Cent as Balrog, I think, is a good one. Jason Momoa as Blanca is another one I think is actually going to be pretty good, pretty funny probably. Now, who else have we got? We've got Orville Peck as Vega. I don't know who that is. I think it's a musician. Olivier Richters as Zangief. I saw the picture. Perfect. Right? He looks the part. You got Hiroko Goto as E Honda. Raina Valdingham as Yuli. And Alexander Volkanovski, obviously the MMA guy from Australia, from the Gong, from Wollongong. He plays a guy called Joe. Kyle Mooney as Marvin. These are characters I don't know, unless it's like a Joe from an SE, Joe Higashi, which I don't think it is, but and then Mel Janssen from as Cammy, an Australian actress, as an English character, very on brand, given that Kylie Minogue played Cammy in the original live action movie. Again, just saying out there, Aussies are a little bit better than the Brits at most things, including being British, it seems. So, looked at her. She's a Thai Australian actress. Keep an open mind to that as well. So, overall, if you look over this page, I mean, the listeners at home who are audio only can't hear. Oh, sorry, can hear but can't see. I guess there'll be a lot of growing hair, makeup, that sort of thing to make this sort of work, right? So I would recommend you read this Nerdist article. It has a really good breakdown. It has the character select screen where it rotates between the Street Fighter 2 portraits and the actors like portraits, the real ones, right? And then there's some pixelated versions. They put a lot of effort into it. I'm pretty, I'm not excited. I'm not excited, if that makes sense. I'm quite kind of like, I'll definitely go see it when it comes out, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to line up for a midnight screening or any advanced screenings or any of that shit, or get super hyped and then be bummed out by its quality, right? Because I expect this to be a bad good movie, right? So, kind of like MK1 was, the original Mortal Kombat movie. It wasn't a great movie, but it was a great video game movie. It was campy. It was sort of cheesy. So I'm expecting more of the same here. And, go in with low expectations for any kind of live action movie, including, and especially fighting game live action movie, right? So, so this is not going to be a long one. I just do want to talk about the casting, and I'm pretty bullish on it, as they say. The Akuma one, I think, is, when you look at Street Fighter Assassin's Fist, how they do a transformation of Akuma, and then the dark skin and the broader features and stuff, that kind of makes sense because he goes a little bit more demonic. So they do that transformation. They use a Japanese guy as Goki. And then as he becomes Akuma, they add the makeup and they get a darker skinned guy to play him, because as you see, Akuma is dark skinned in the game. Read into that what you will. Is he like an islander from Japan or something like that? Is maybe that why he looks that way? I don't know. But he's supposed to be Goken's brother, and he goes through this demonic transformation where all his features sharpen, his hair goes red, his eyes go all funny, he gets these bigger jawline, brow, all that sort of stuff, right? So there's going to be controversy in a lot of these castings as well. There's always going to be someone go, well, they're not this and they're not that, or Ken's half Japanese, and you're always going to get that kind of thing. I'm not so sensitive to stuff like that, unless it's an outlandishly wrong kind of casting, that's when I sort of go, why do you do it? But I think, the Asian characters are Asian characters, the non-Asian characters are non-Asian characters, and if there's a little bit of overlap in between, like you've got Andrew Schultz, Dan is Japanese, Dan Hibiki's Japanese, don't know how they're going to explain that one, but he's a joke character and they've got a standard comedian to do him. That at least Ryu's not like American or something like like that. He is a British actor, but he's of Asian descent. So didn't really plan on talking about this too much, but this is the kind of thing that happens with these movies and the castings, right? So you look at the original Street Fighter live action, E Honda was Hawaiian or some shit. Like, why? This fucking fights in a Japanese bathhouse and he's a sumo wrestler, for fuck's sake. And then you got Guile being American, cast by a fucking Belgian actor who just couldn't get the accent right. Didn't sound American at all. So, yeah, but for the most part, I think these castings are quite good. They're going to be interesting. They've definitely got some big profile people. There's a lot of WWE input here, which it's not the worst thing in the world. So again, I'll keep an open mind, and I'm not going to get too bogged down. It's more the Akuma one. I'm sort of like, what are they going to do? Are they going to show his origin or not? Or are they just going to have a fully realized Akuma and just assume we know? That's another thing they tend to get wrong in video game movies, is they over-explain origin stories and stuff like that. I don't think they need to do that. In most cases, they sort of, there's a reason these get made into movies is because the franchises are famous and have a lot of fans. So I don't feel like you need to go fucking Bruce Wayne, parents getting shot and mugged outside of fucking, in an alleyway outside the opera or whatever, or the theater or whatever, every time. We don't need that every time, right? And I think Street Fighter should the same. The Jason Momoa is Blanka thing. He's a big actor. He's a big name at the moment. Does that mean Blanka's going to get a lot of screen time? Because possibly could, but Blanka's always kind of not a main character, so we'll see. Yeah, and the Guile casting's going to be interesting. I heard Danny bring that up in the his podcast news the other day for Retro Wars. Are they going to do the mop on the head? Or not? Or are they going to give him a regular haircut? We'll see. So, again, don't get your hopes up, but don't just assume it's going to suck. It might not, right? So, I don't really have much more to say about the castings. Try not to get too sensitive about them. The Bison one, this guy, not really sure, right? That's a lot. This is a lot of pressure with the Bison character, right? I didn't bring that up until now, but it just jumped into my head before I was about to sign off. But that was a big performance in the original live-action movie. It's one of the only good things about that movie, and it gets brought up all the time about how Raul Julia nailed that, right? So, can we see Bison as this guy, right? I don't know. Again, we'll see. For me, Bison is a like sort of stocky, muscly, imposing figure. And he just doesn't appear to be. And I guess neither was Raul Julia really, but we'll see. Like a lot of these actors do have to kind of hit the gym, right? And lift some iron. I can't really see them pulling it off otherwise. The wrestlers obviously not. They're fucking jacked already. But this is a fighting movie, right? So it does need to have that sort of believability about it. That's why I think Jason Momoa is a smart choice too, right? Chun-Li looks the part, but what are they going to do? Is she just going to fucking sit on the squat rack and just do fucking squats and leg curls and shit like that, butt hooks and all that sort of hip thrust just to get the glutes to fucking match the video game? I think a little bit of reality is going to come in here for that. A little bit joking aside, I don't think that's obviously not going to be that big a deal. And, yeah. So, yeah, well, like I said, we'll keep an open mind to this casting. And like I said, this is a video podcast and an audio podcast. So for those of you who are just listening, I do recommend you go to the Nerdist and type in this, or just search Street Fighter live action cast or something like that. Go to the Nerdist one. Don't just go to the top few pages and go to your fucking IGN or one of the easy ones. They put work in here, and they've sort of outlined it all, really well, and done some great visuals, as you can see on the screen as I'm scrolling down too fast. So, thanks again for listening, everyone. Don't smash your controllers. I'm going to be doing some Samurai Showdown 2. I'm going to be recording some videos. I might even go on Twitch and stream that one. So, if you're interested in that, get in the Discord, let me know. I'm trying to make content that you guys want to watch, right? And the Ninja Gaiden stuff, I'm going to have a little bit of a break from putting videos up for that, but I am going to finish that, right? You are going to get the rest of that. The boss fights for Samurai Showdown 2 and for Ninja Gaiden are not going to be on YouTube straight away. They're going to be Patreon only, okay? People are paying the Patreon money. They're supporting the chat. They're supporting the podcast, and they're supporting Command List. They deserve some perks like that, right? In addition to the shorter Ultimate Frugal episodes and that sort of thing. And they're going to get the video version of this before it goes on YouTube. Yeah, so if you want to see boss fights, they're always going to be delayed on YouTube, and they're going to be delayed by a bit, right? So, anyway, like I said, don't smash your controllers. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.